Oh, hi there.
What the heck is going on with you, T?
Well,
What's happening?
We exist again.
We exist again.
It's always a bit jolting when we
Appear?
become return to existence.
a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the opposite of cease to exist.
Did we just
Yeah,
change
robes are
clothes?
different. What happened?
Huh?
Huh?
Clothes are different.
What?
Yeah, clothes
Cool.
are different.
Yep.
It's nice to have a fresh set
Fresh.
I always change
while you're not existing.
before we appear, and then I
Right
just
before.
change.
Got it.
And then we roll.
This is another Karman Line short review. I'm Kenny.
No,
we do
you
that?
don't say that.
We don't do
There's
that.
got
Yeah,
the
we have
little
we have
thing.
this.
This.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who I am.
And you know what it is.
Taylor has one too.
Oh, look, D has one.
No,
No, D doesn't get
D
one.
doesn't get one.
I see it. I see it right now. Anyway, it's time for yet another Karman Line short review. This is the only place in the universe where you can watch three cursed filmmakers review your short films that are sent to us by you guys, the filmmaking public. And today we have the extreme privilege of reviewing a film by a repeat offender.
What's a repeat offender?
Four time.
He's come here 4 times. 4 times.
Repeat offender.
Inderdeep Chahal.
Yep.
Yeah.
An award nominee from last year.
Yeah.
For My Guy Mordecai.
My Guy Mordecai was a
nominee
Smash
for
hit.
Genuity Award.
Genuity Award nominee.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Yeah. Those of you who don't know the award show. Oh, there's an award show.
Yeah, so hey, send us your good movies, please. We'll have an award show at the end of the year. Right now, I gotta say, lean pickings.
This is an animated short. This is the first animation from Inderdeep that he's given us.
Did I say he had sent us 4 films?
Yeah.
This is the
is
fourth
the
time.
fourth.
Yeah. And it was hosted on their account IBK Productions, which I believe is his group
Yep.
of people. Oh, I wonder if it stands for Inderdeep, Brandon, and Kyle. Huh?
Could be.
Huh?
Could be real.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
That's
Maybe.
some tinfoil hat conspiracy right there.
I know. That's pretty crazy. Let's start with
Did
our...
you call that inference? You inferred that.
I did infer that, yeah. But he implied it.
So it's a 2-2 film.
It is. It is a 2-2 film. Let's start with our first impressions. Dude, I almost called you Kenny. Your name's Taylor.
Yeah, that's correct.
Kaylor.
Yeah.
Taylor, give me your first impressions
Impress
of
us.
this film.
Okay, I was...
Impress us with your first.
Immediately like, oh, this is an animated film, because all of our other films from Inderdeep have been live action, either comedies or actions or dramas. And seeing this made me think that Inderdeep is very much experimenting with styles and genres of film, because he sent us a straight comedy, a straight drama, an action scene, and now it's an animated film.
Yeah.
So he's
quite a range
He's got
there.
depth.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
trying
Range.
things. And then I was thought the animation was actually pretty good for what it is. It certainly isn't like,
There's stuff on TV
No.
that looks like this.
yeah, like it's fairly good animation, and I thought it was pretty funny. Some of it, not all of it was really funny, but like some of the middle stuff when like the hamsters are really buff, I thought was really funny. And I thought it was all right. That was all right.
Kenny, your first impressions.
Oh, first impression was, oh, it's animation. Second impression was, animation.
Animation.
I never know quite how to talk about animated films. I've never
Yeah.
made one, and while it is definitely it's definitely in the same family as our traditional filmmaking, it's a stepsister.
It is. Yeah, they have different properties,
Yeah,
It's-
I mean, there's still cinematography of
Yeah.
a sort. There's still editing of a sort.
but they're treated differently.
But it is definitely a different skill set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many of the same rules apply, for
yeah.
sure.
I wouldn't quite
It's still visual
agree.
storytelling.
Yeah, I'd still consider it like a movie. Like
It's
it's
still a
not
movie.
necessarily a different medium per se.
I'm just saying it's harder for me to analyze. It's
Yeah.
harder for me to grasp and talk about.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way. To me, it's all the same stuff applies.
Yes, I know that.
It's like it's just shots, cinematography is still there.
Yeah, to me, it's
if anything, you get more control over everything.
way more control. That's what makes it really different to me.
Yeah.
You know, when someone's filmmaking, they have a set place, whether that be a set or a location outside, that already has a defined shape, a defined location, defined everything. Everything has its own value. You have a tree there, car there, street here. When you have animation, it's just a blank slate, and you can create anything you want. And so out of that, you have to create your impression of a realistic situation, or you have to create something out of your mind. And because of that, you have a way different skill set. It's not create something out of what you have. It's create something entirely new.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's the same end result, like in the sense that like the same way you talk about a movie can still be applied to an animated film.
A little bit. Cinematography can't be applied.
I don't know if that's exactly true.
There's shot choice, you know.
And lighting.
It's not exactly true. You can talk about shot choice.
Obviously, there's no camera being used.
Right, there's no camera, you know. But like
there's still composition, there's still lighting.
Right.
There's still movement.
Which are parts of cinematography. Mm-hmm. But there's other things in cinematography that you can't do in animation.
Like
what do you call it? What's the word you just used?
Parallax?
No. Yeah, you can't do parallax.
Every anime intro ever.
Shot composition with real items, with things that exist in the world. You know, it is still making a shot, but it's making it differently again. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just the way in which you apply the knowledge of visual storytelling.
Yeah, and there's definitely varying degrees. I mean, where we have a very basic 2D animation that we have here, where we're moving basically across two planes, right? Versus like a Pixar film when they're literally making a three-dimensional space, placing objects in that space,
and then they actually take the camera,
lights in that space, moving a camera through that space. Yeah. Now it's much more similar.
Right. Yeah. In that instance, it's definitely similar.
Yeah.
Way similar.
More similar, but my thing is the end results and how you could talk about it are, to me, virtually the same.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's very hard for me.
Yeah.
You keep trying to tell me it's not. It is.
It's not for you.
Okay?
Kenny, it's not for you.
I'm just saying it's a dysfunction I have.
That's why I'm just trying
just
to.
a problem with me.
I'm just trying to understand.
This film's great.
I'm just trying to understand.
It's not you.
I'm just trying to understand.
It's not you.
That's all.
It's not you.
I'm just trying to understand.
We've had like 4 animated films sent to us, and I haven't enjoyed reviewing any of them.
Yeah.
That's what my whole experience is based off of.
I think relating it to personal experience is something that I've been doing, and yeah, animation's not a big one for me because of that. Because there's nothing for me to relate to.
Look, man, it doesn't stir my pot. That's what I'm telling you.
Can I get that pot real quick?
It doesn't flip my eggs.
I'm gonna get that pot.
Here.
Thanks, let's stir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
The film wouldn't do it, so D did. Thank you, D.
You're welcome. My first impressions of the film were that it was a very simplistic film. It was finally, animated. I didn't really enjoy what it was doing because it didn't seem to
have a story.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what it was.
We saw this in a couple of other Inderdeep's films where they just kind of felt like they ended. Yeah. Without having an ending.
I appreciated all the Dragon Ball Z stuff in here because it's funny to me, but after that, it just felt like, hey, I'm gonna put together a film that has to do with hamsters who are fighting, and in that fighting, I'm gonna make some Dragon Ball Z stuff, and that's great. That was fun, but then after that, it didn't seem to have any purpose after that.
Right. Yeah. So if you want to try to guess intent here, I mean, I think you might have hit the nail on the head with that. We've seen 4 very distinct different genres in 4 films. I think Inderdeep is trying his hand at everything, and he's like, I'm going to try some animation. Yeah. And it may not be so much about telling a complete coherent story, but actually just proving to himself I can make a cool animated film.
And it feels that way a little bit. But there was an animation that we talked about some time ago called like Dream or some. It was about a dream.
Oh,
when a person
yeah.
And that one felt like that kind of thing, where I'm just like, I'm going to see what I can do with animation, and it didn't really have anything to do with the story per se.
That one almost played like a reel, like a demo reel.
It did, yeah. Okay, well, let's get into our first subject. Our first subject is writing. What's the story here? Well, what exactly is happening?
Well, there's two hamsters having a normal hamster experience, just living the everyday pet store life. And then one of them gets taken to a hamster fight club. That's the story.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's very simple. If anything, so in terms of the writing, we always talk about there's the two halves, right? There's telling a really good story and there's writing really good dialogue. Those are two separate skills that add together to make great writing. If you can pull off both, then you are awesome.
Yeah.
The dialogue is actually much stronger than the story in this film, which is rarely the case. I thought the dialogue actually fit really well for the characters they made. Yeah. And in fact, Inderdeep's style of writing perhaps plays better in animation.
Yeah, maybe.
Because one of the things we've mentioned many times is that his dialogue seems to be really over-dramatic, like very over-the-top, kind of campy. When it comes out of the mouth of a muscled-up hamster, over-dramatic works really well.
Definitely, I would agree. I definitely agree. This felt like a nod to Ninja Turtles. It felt like a nod to, what do you call it? Dragon Ball Z. All those things where we have. I mean, obviously in those things we have big plot lines, but this was just felt like a nod to those. Where just like hamsters are beating each other up, and isn't that funny? And that was pretty much it. And then we have a little send off.
Muscles.
Yeah, and then we have a little send off with a little freeze frame at the end of this guy. He's about to become the best ninja or best Fight Club.
He's gonna train because he should.
Because he should.
Yeah, he's like, I guess I should do that.
I'm wondering if that frame right there, if that's supposed to be like pop art looking thing, like the comic, the close up comic book stuff where you see the circles and the color. I wonder if that's what they were going for there. Because it doesn't look that good. I don't like it.
It just looks like it was printed on a mesh.
Yeah.
I like the writing in the beginning when he's like, chill out, man. This is the place to be. That you just get to relax and live out and forever. They take care of you. It's awesome. Nothing bad's gonna happen. And then the hand comes and takes him. Because it's like saying that rather than being in the wild or whatever, that you're in this nice cushy environment with air conditioning, guaranteed
pets
food.
Pets have it good.
Yeah, in like PetSmart or something.
I wish I saw more of that in this.
Yeah.
I wish I saw them, laying down and bean bags, watching TV, playing video games or something. This is the life, sipping on cocktails or something. That would have been interesting, visually interesting, rather than just the two hamsters talking to each other. Which this, what I'm going to say is going to bleed a little bit into performance, but the way our main hamster talks to this one, I had a problem with because he sounds like he's droning on. It sounds like he's saying a cautionary tale, it's be careful, man. Be careful with what you wish for, kind of thing. That's what it feels like he's saying. But he's saying something like, we got it good. Everything's good here. And it just didn't match the story to me or match what he was trying to say.
I felt like, to me, it was like he was just laid back. He was just a relaxed person. That's how I got. That's what I got
didn't
from
seem
it.
that way to me. That's really funny. Yeah, I think I just needed more of a visual punch there.
That hamster has inverted eyes.
Yeah, he has Dragon Ball Z eyes.
Should we move on to writing?
We're
on writing.
You see the icon?
Performances.
Where's the icon? The
there it
icon's
is.
up there.
Yeah. Performances.
Performances? Let's go to performances.
The makers of this program would like to interrupt this program to talk about their other programs. Go D!
If you happen to be a filmmaker and you've made a short film and you want to hear us talk about it, you can submit it to us via the link in the description.
And if you love what you are seeing here and want to dive deeper into making better movies, you need to join us at our Facebook group, The Karman Line Cult. There, we have daily discussions about filmmaking, we have weekly live streams, and all kinds of other cool cult-like activities.
And now back to the program.
animation, we talk about performances as voice acting, obviously. And the voice acting in here was half terrible and half pretty good.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that I want to say is not very good was the first person here who was it him? This guy? I don't remember. Well, one of the hamsters was yelling something, but the person was given the impression of yelling, like they were afraid to yell in their recording studio. So they're like, "Hey guys," doing that thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You can't do that." It doesn't feel like I'm watching someone who's. It doesn't feel like I'm watching the hamster. It feels like I'm watching someone who's recording lines.
Mm. I liked all the voice acting pretty much. Like I loved his laid back demeanor for the dude, and I loved the announcer guy who's commentating the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was really energetic and good. It seemed like they were trying. It didn't seem like they were particularly like they knew what they were going for.
Yeah.
And they nailed it, I felt like.
Yeah, it's interesting that you think that they nailed it because I didn't feel that at all. I felt like there was a bunch of college kids kind of screwing around on microphones.
I'm really sorry, Taylor, but I'm going to have to side with D on this one. The voice acting to me did sound like a bunch of friends dicking around.
It did feel that way to me.
Yeah.
Nope.
What? What'd you call me?
Nope.
Called you a nope?
I sensed character especially from our main character.
Yeah.
I felt like he is.
Yeah,
this
but I
laid-back guy.
recognized that voice. He's in all of the Inderdeep movies. Might even be Inderdeep. I don't know.
So the guy who what was the film that he submitted to us where the one guy walks in and reads a suicide note for myself?
It was that voice.
That voice.
Yeah.
So it was like that guy. That guy in that film felt hilarious because he was over dramatic the whole time.
Wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah, and then it felt like that same voice was used in here, despite the orientation of what the character was in, despite the situation the character was in. Whether he was laid back, whether he was training, he felt one note. That's what he felt like to me. So that's why it felt like it was people just messing around, because that's what you would do. You wouldn't get into the nitpicky kind of nuance that you would with like a professional performance. So our next category.
Directing?
Good directing.
Yeah.
Directing's the next category. This is making for a small episode. Why don't you get started on directing? Because I have nothing to say about directing.
I like the idea that this is a fish out of water, absurd scenario played straight. Like it's completely straight laced. They never call attention to how absurd what is happening is, or how weird it is, and they just our main character just kind of rolls with the punches and is he's like a little confused, like, what is this? And he's like, oh, I understand. I have to do this now. I guess I have to be this guy and fight and be the best fighter there is. And they never wink at the audience or anything like that. It's all very straight-laced. So I like that. And it does seem like they're setting up to do like a sequel thing, which I didn't like very much.
I think everything you just said is like in the writing realm still. And to me, it's hard to really like define direction in a film like this, in an animated film especially, unless it's directing the voice actors, because virtually everything on screen is just being written with drawing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's still just writing with drawing.
I would agree.
I would not.
The animation style, I like the animation style, and to me, animation style is part of the direction, because it gives a feeling that you're going for. So, for example, Ren and Stimpy wouldn't be the same cartoon if it was really cleanly animated.
Right. If it was directed by anybody else.
Right. So, in that way, this felt like a safe kind of animation. It didn't feel like there was something that they were going overtly for, except for maybe emulating Dragon Ball Z stuff, which I really enjoyed when they did that. Like the flame here is almost precisely animated the way Dragon Ball Z does, where they have an evolving flame, ever evolving.
Yeah.
And that was great. And the whole freeze frame before he teleports is like perfect.
Yeah.
where he's done powering up and then he just stares.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like that stuff was great. And that stuff, I do feel like that stuff is more directing, but I think it's more like, I don't know if Inderdeep was the guy who, because it says he directed it. It was drawn.
And
drawn
he
by
did
him
the
too.
voice.
So
That is his voice.
So I feel like the direction was in the animator's head, and in this case, I guess it was because it was Inderdeep, and in animating it, he's kind of flowed with that kind of inspiration that he was taking from Dragon Ball Z and all others.
Yeah.
So I did dig that stuff. As if I want to say if I liked it or not, besides like compared to other animations, I don't know what to say because it's a small film. It's not professionally made, so it's not really anything I can get behind.
It's probably my favorite animated film we've been sent.
So it's
I
the
don't
most
even remember
coherent
some.
one that I remember.
Yeah, well,
I don't remember ones
we had two that were practically music
Oh, yeah.
videos.
Yeah.
And then we had one that was the planets that are like dating each other.
Yeah.
Right.
That was
Right.
weird.
And
Yeah. So all of them were just kind of had a plot maybe, and this one definitely had much more of a clear plot. So I liked that about it.
Yeah.
But
characters. It actually had characters.
it did have characters, yeah. So but those are like basic things I would expect to have in any animation.
Yeah.
Especially if it's qualified as a short film. So I don't want to be a dick, but I don't want to say like I'm giving points to this for having basic stuff that I would expect.
That was kind of a dick thing to say. Jeez. D.
I want to be a pussy.
Well, who doesn't? Well, I think that about gets us to questions.
I guess
Yeah.
so.
All right. This is the part of the program where we ask questions.
Dude, thank you.
Go.
Viewers, if you are not Inderdeep, you can ask Inderdeep questions, and
Please
hopefully
do.
he'll come in and chime in. In fact, Inderdeep has, I think, answered pretty much all the questions that we've asked before.
Yeah, he knows how to play the game.
So usually the filmmaker will come into the comments and then answer everything. So ask them, and hopefully they'll answer it you. But we're going to ask ours, and
Oh, and call us out if you feel like we're wrong about anything.
yeah. that too.
Troll us. Hate mail.
Death
Threats for
Yeah.
sure. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
KYSKLS.
Ooh,
Oh, I
that's
like that.
great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's good. It's good stuff.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Questions.
I'll start. Why?
Oh, that one.
Why did you make the film? It seems like I'm always say this, but it seems like an assignment. Just because it's short.
You just think everyone's perpetually in school all the time.
All the time. I know. It seems that way to me. I don't know why it does. I think it's because there's not a whole lot of I don't know. There's not a whole lot of what I would perceive as direction in here. So that just makes me think of assignment. It's probably not, but I would like to know why you made it.
I want to know how much experience you have with animation. I'd imagine you've probably done at least something else besides this.
Know what
and,
you're doing.
Yeah. And why you chose to do animation at all.
So we have seen 4 genres in 4 films, and so that leads me to wonder, are you on some grand tour of all possible film genres? Will we see a horror film next from Inderdeep?
That'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
It would be awesome.
Make a horror film.
Make us a horror
Yeah.
movie. And of what you've done so far, which genre do you like the most? Which one are you most gravitated towards that you think is your truest voice?
Cool. Neat.
Thanks, Inderdeep. Thanks again.
Bye.
Okay, bye.